This is an exquisite Regency sideboard. This is an Irish Regency sideboard. Its provenance is Townley Hall, which is one of our more delightful country houses in County Louth, which was designed by Francis Johnston. Francis Johnston, of course, was an architect who was responsible for St. George's Church in Dublin, and more famously, the General Post Office in O'Connell Street, Dublin, that iconic building of Irish historical importance. This sideboard is made of mahogany. The centre panel here is feathered mahogany. We call it feathered mahogany because of the grain and its similarity with an actual feather. Along here is this reeded frieze, so-called because of the shape here, shaped like a reed. And indeed, this is again repeated in the columns of each of the pedestals, with the reeds, graduated reeds in the columns, thus reeded columns. The sideboard is of wonderful proportions, again achieved by tapering the columns to give lightness and air to what is in fact a very solid piece of furniture. These open to reveal inside shelves, and which was used for storage. Sometimes these would have an integrated wine cooler, but not in this case. Here is a drawer which was lockable, and actually this is a cellarette. This is where bottles were stored for serving at the table, and again they were lockable for security within the house. What makes this exceptional is the piece itself. It's a 200-year-old piece, probably dating around 1810, and the fact that it came from Townley Hall. It may well have been, and we cannot eliminate the possibility, that it may indeed have been designed by Francis Johnston. At this end of the sideboard is access for a butler or a servant in the house. The reason for this was at the other end we saw the cellarette, where the actual drink was stored and was lockable in a lockable drawer. This is not lockable, but this allowed access for just one bottle, the bottle that was in current use at the time, and for whoever was serving the drink. But it denied them access to the main supply. It also meant that the man or woman of the house could monitor what in fact was being used from the bottle. So if there were any pilfering going on, they were fully aware of it, and this facilitated that monitoring. Sitting on top of this sideboard is an exceptional pair of knife urns, and these are of urn form, as you can see here, repeating an urn that you would see typically in a garden for ornament purposes. These are distinctly Irish. And on the corners here at the edge, the handles are formed with a mask, a face, in this case, that of the Green Man, which was used a lot during this period, this classical revival period. Interestingly enough, this was sort of the age of mechanism being introduced into Irish furniture. So when we actually lift this by the handles, it will sort of rise up. And there are two little pieces of wood which are sort of spring-loaded, and they snap and lock it into position. In here were inserted the knives. And again, these were exceptional, and these have, this is for the person who has absolutely everything in their collection, and this is sort of a pinnacle of a collector's piece, and they sit delightfully on the sideboard. Again, distinctly Irish. Again, you've got the swags of the bell flowers happening on it, and this wonderful motif here, again at the top, are a stylized sort of acanthus, all sort of elements used in neoclassicism. And this comes as a pair and are exceptionally rare. Perhaps once every 10 years you might see a pair like this.
So,